All right, guys, welcome back to Overtakes. This is Misfit.
And I'm Kel.
But on to Thursday. Thursday, the matches were a little bit closer the early in the day.
Yeah.
Florida actually showed up against New York.
Yeah.
Technically, on paper, they got fucking stomped because, and this is a knock on my team right now, and I'm going to fucking throw it out there. They can't stop Tracer.
Yeah.
The opposing, there's no...
And they just, they can't shut down when they need to.
No, they never can finish.
When they're really close and it's a really close match, they just can't get that final little push.
It's like in like a last team fight, especially like on a control.
Yeah.
It's always like, all right, this is going their way. Then all of a sudden, and it's not like people are making dumb plays. They're not making any plays.
Yeah.
And the other team, it just overtakes
takes advantage of it.
And a lot of it's the Tracer play.
They make one or two plays and it's over.
CBOB had 144 eliminations through this whole match against them.
Oh.
And later on in the week, Carpe had 116.
Yeah.
In a shorter match. Think about that. And I'm not talking about solo kills. I'm talking about, I think he had 60 kills, period. Mm-hmm. There's 66, CBOB, who's a god anyway. And he carried them this whole fucking week.
Oh, yeah.
CBOB was hard, like, if you wanted a hard carry, like we talk about Undead, because New York looked a little weird, man.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
It's the no mercy thing.
Yeah.
They're not as good without the mercy.
Yeah, they really aren't.
Jonak isn't getting boosted and drilling people, and he looked off too, because, I mean, Florida had his number.
Yeah, they had
him popping ults. Yeah, they had him popping ults at weird times, and it's not. Florida played decent, but there was just parts of their game that were just awful. Yeah, and they desperately need people in like Shanghai does to mix it up a little bit and maybe come up with a couple of different schemes besides dive.
Yeah,
except for, you know what though, that was later on in the week. But against New York, they were in the meatball. They ran it well. You know, the triple tank thing on even on Kings Row, they ran that well. Mm-hmm. But we'll get to later on in the week. But there's just some things going on that they just need to not start from square one, but they need to
step back and just assess and be like, okay, we need to do this, and this better because it's just not working. Yeah. Whatever they're trying to do.
Too passive a Zen play.
Yes.
Because it's almost not out of position, but too far away from the dive, or they're not diving coordinated right when they do dive.
Right.
Like they're diving in and Zen's like, especially when they play like Hanamura, like in the doorway, they're like, you know, above that point and he's dead. And then you have no healing or discord or any of that.
Right.
No chance for a transcendence. And then, you know, with the Tracer thing going on, they have no answer for that.
Yeah.
And so that's another support destruction. They got to figure something out.
Yeah, they've got a lot to look at. They got to go back to the drawing board on some things for sure.
And they looked good in this one.
Right.
That's the thing. Supposedly good. I went back and watched some of it. You know, they could have went up 2-0.
Yes.
New York looked like, hard to describe what New York looked like, but
yeah, they did not look like the same team that they were in the first stage.
And Philadelphia, Boston, Philadelphia just is a different team.
Yeah. With EQO,
different team.
He just completely changed the face of that.
He's a game changer, and so is the meta for them.
Yes.
Which I think you and Monte Cristo are the only ones who are like, you know, they run that dive pretty good. We didn't have them too high because we weren't sure.
Yeah.
If they get, I was like, if they get good support play, and they get their tanks in line, which they did, and they looked unstoppable.
And
they
Boston just looked flat.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't look bad, but they look. They're
another team like
one
Florida.
Of those teams. Well, they're also one of those teams that I think they're more like New York in the fact that the meta change really hurt them because they had one of the best mercies in Kellex, and I don't know if Kellex, and I don't think Kellex is.
He played some mercy.
He did, but like she just doesn't have the impact that she did previously.
No,
and I think like. When it comes to these guys especially, when you don't have that, like, unless she has that huge impact that she does with her healing and bringing people back.
And that double res and all that stuff.
Her lack of damage just really hurts the team. When you're not having 6 people putting out damage, it really hurts them. And you could totally tell.
Oh, yeah.
And this team, I think Boston might be one of the most heavily affected by that.
Yeah, and they're also in a rut, like, some of the other teams, like I'm gonna go with Florida, the Valiant, Boston. They're in this dive rut.
Yes.
You need to. This is what, like we said, first part of the show. The meta's changed to the point with the maps and stuff that are in here that it's point specific as to what you run.
Yes.
You can't go dive.
Yeah, and Boston is just not adapting to the situation like they need to be. And
Philadelphia's DPS is too good to do that.
Yes.
Even though they're running dive, you're not going to... The way EQO and Carpe...
Oh my god.
And then you got Boombox and Neptuno playing fantastic in the support area.
Right. And then that in turn is making their tanks unkillable.
Yeah.
What do you do to stop that? And
I feel like they worked on their tank play.
Yes.
Over the break.
Yes.
Because Fraggy and Poco looked totally different.
They did.
Maybe it's because of the Lucio and the proximity you have to have with the healing.
Mm-hmm. They're being a little less aggressive.
Psychotically aggressive.
But when they are aggressive, they can be more so. Yeah. And it just has a higher impact.
They're being calculatingly aggressive.
Yes.
Like, basically, they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Right.
But, yeah, there's a lot of teams that are standard. Like, London is adapting.
Yeah, and that just kind of puts us right into that match.
Let's roll into the match of the day on Thursday.
Yeah. Houston and London obviously the best game of the league.
It might have been.
Of this day. Of
the day.
There was a day for sure.
Yeah.
Possibly the week.
Yeah.
Man, will not quit. That team just constantly...
They're like a running team in football.
Yes.
They just fucking pound you, man.
Right.
Oh.
Even when it doesn't work, they just keep going with it.
But they'll switch up, though.
They'll switch up, and they'll make it work. Like, they're just... Yeah, they adapt, and they just make anything work, and this wasn't working, okay, so we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this until it works, and it does.
Yeah, and the thing is their supports they played fantastic when they Bonnie and Boink flipping off here and there, and then Raucous.
I feel like
Boink is stupid on
Houston's DPS were probably the least impactful
that I've ever seen.
Them, and they still were winning. That just shows how good and scary that team is.
Yeah, because
that's not to say that this isn't anything against London, because London looked really, really good in this game too. This was not a bad play. Level, two high-level teams just duking it out.
The thing I liked about watching this is a real rivalry in the league.
Yes,
you might want to throw London, New York in there, but this one I don't know. There's something about this one that's got flavor.
Yeah, this has definitely become one of the more interesting rivalries, especially because London kept them out. They played twice in the same day.
Yeah,
I think that this is going to be the rivalry to watch.
Yeah, and they adapt to each other's they trade punches, so to speak, so well.
Yes.
This is where we saw Hagopin absolutely ruling on Sombra, though.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. One game like that, I just want. This is one of those things, though. London still has the control point issue. Mm-hmm. Or the King of the Hill issue.
Yep.
But with the Sombra in there, and they keep putting Hagopin on Sombra, they're winning these 2 CP ones.
Yes. And that has really helped them get way better at those maps, and that's what they needed, because they were bad on both, middling to bad on both of those types, and now they might be top tier on 2CP.
Well, they played Volskaya twice, and then they won both times, I believe, and a lot of it was Sombra play.
Yes. Yeah, their
tanks
has been phenomenal.
Their tanks are stupid. They were good all weekend.
Yeah,
that was a good battle between them and Houston. The tanks.
Yeah, I mean that's 4 of the top of tanks in the entire league just duking it out.
And then you throw Spree in there playing some Zarya.
Right.
That was nice. I was loving all the Zarya and just different stuff.
Yeah, seeing some of these different comps is it's such a breath of fresh air from seeing the same 2 different comps that we saw in the last stage.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're getting to see. I'm liking this, in the different style of play, because you have different supports in there.
Yes.
You're running a little triple tank. You're running a standard dive, running weird dive comps, and whatever you want to call them, Moira dives.
Yeah, I'm loving seeing so much Moira.
Yeah, that Houston and London. It came down to King of the Hill.
Yeah, it really did.
And as usual, and they smoked him on that. And London has got to figure out how to play these things. Really I think at this point, it's in their head. Yeah. I mean, they're slightly better on Ilios, but by slightly better, I mean, they're not god-awful.
Right.
Like they won. I think they beat Florida on Oasis, and they might have beat one other team.
Yeah,
like the Gladiators or something like that.
Right.
Every other match they lost on that they played on Oasis, and Ilios. That's I think Pine ate them up once or twice, playing McCree.
Right.
And they just get destroyed on there, which I don't understand. I got to go with Houston as the best Western team. That was where I was trying to hit with this one.
Absolutely.
I don't see another. There's no hands on. I still had the Valiant in my head after watching them without Mercy. I'm not buying.
No, Houston is the real deal.
And they don't have the adaptive tank play.
Yes,
I think some of these teams
are the real trick that Houston does is their tank play is just otherworldly.
Because Muma can play 3 different tanks or 4. Because he can play.
I feel like honestly you could throw Muma on any of them, and he would
probably could throw him on Diva and he'd be alright too.
Yeah.
But I mean, he can play Winston, Reinhardt, Orisa, Roadhog.
Yep.
Some of these teams like Florida. Swoosh can play Reinhardt, sort of, and he can play Winston decent.
Yeah.
His Roadhog is not great. The Valiant, their tanks are dive tanks.
Yeah. You
get them out of that, because they gotta run agilities on Roadhog. So you get them out of that. Same thing, Boston, they have trouble with it, like they gotta run Dreamcasper on Roadhog or Zarya. They gotta get more adaptive. They're just like dive tank central. And Houston, and even London, they could, to some extent, the reason why they put Wuyol in there, because he can switch off if needed.
Yeah.
Houston's tanks, they're too adaptive.
Well, I feel like at some point,
the other teams can't handle it.
The league is going to get to a point where the players that can play every character well, those are going to be the guys that are going to be really sought after.
Yeah,
because then you can put them in a lineup and they don't know who they're going to play.
Right.
And they can be dominant on any character. Those are the guys that are going to really take... It's
exactly.
similar to the NBA. It's like the guys that can play multiple positions are the guys that are sought after.
And it's the same thing, like, you're seeing in the league. When you see Spree come in for Houston, they're running triple tank. Right. I'm not knocking Houston's style here, but what I'm saying is you kind of, you see...
But it's like...
You see Wuyol coming in, he's going to Diva, possibly switch off to Zarya or something like that.
And I think that's kind of why Dallas is a little more scary now, because they can put in...
A bunch of different guys.
Some of those guys that are like, oh, wait, is he going to be playing damage? Or is it like, oh, Taimu's in the lineup. What's he playing?
Yeah.
Oh, he's main tank.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, boy.
He's main tank, and if they really need to, they can go triple DPS.
And I think that's something that your team will be able to do
once they get some people in.
Once they get some of these new guys in, then it's like, oh, Switch is in the lineup. Oh, he's not tanking, he's playing
Soldier. Or whatever. Maybe we're going triple tank, and he's playing Winston, and we got a Zarya Reinhardt.
Right.
We will see you guys on the next one.
Don't forget to like us, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit us up on Twitter. Please subscribe. That's what really drives everything and gives us more hits, and it just gives us more exposure.
Helps us get more content out.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. So we will talk to you guys later.
See you guys on the next one.